Stewart, digital marketing specialist for Views Digital Marketing, and I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today I'm talking with Views COO Maryn Williams, who's based in Tennessee. Hi, Maryn.
Hi, Mary. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for talking with us today. Um, Maryn, everyone's concerned about COVID-19 today. Obviously, most people for health concerns, but the virus and the changes it has caused have really impacted people financially too. And small businesses and other organizations are trying to find ways to continue operating while keeping everyone safe. I know that recently you helped a local church set up to stream services online. Can you talk a little bit about what happened with that endeavor?
Sure. The church is still evaluating some options because for a larger scale production. But for starters, they purchased a Mac, which was a big purchase for them, and
Yeah.
started using Zoom for the daily prayer services. And so that's helped keep a lot of people connected. But in fact, we met last night, the new technology team, which is brand new. So we met last night and went through some of the options and discussed what the budget was and the objectives, so we could put together some kind of a pros and cons matrix on the different uh, products that we were looking at. So there's all kinds of ways to accomplish the goal of streaming and getting your message out. So we looked at three different ways that we thought were probably the best options in these three different categories. One of them was a full level production studio where everything plugs in. That Sling Studio, I think it's a great option. Another one was a an all in one camera where you use the camera and a iPad or something to manage it, but that is it's fully functional. Great way to get started and really good for individual productions. And then we looked at a cloud-based solution that like Switcher Studio or StreamYard, like we're using right now, which allows you to integrate different actions and different capabilities. With the church, they needed the ability to have, say, the organ and the choir and the different people in different places talking. So it's a little more complicated than just one on one, but still, the idea of doing that, of streaming, recording, engaging the church members, of course, using technology is not new, it's not innovative, but it also wasn't a budget priority until it became a priority to keep the church going. So, um,
Right.
yeah.
Right, that's true. Well, being more present online is really the direction that we've been moving in anyway. So, what are some other ways or tools that can help businesses transition to a remote operation?
Oh, well, I'll tell you another story. We had a client who owns a furniture store and is an interior decorator. And of course, with the shutdown, her store was closed, and she had no way of generating business. So um, finally, she took the plunge and sent out an email, which I've been trying to get her to do for quite a while. But she sent out this email and uh, told people that she'd be able to do a personal shopping. So she immediately got a response where people sent her a photograph and actually did a FaceTime and walked her around the room and showed her what they wanted. And then she was able to go to the store, walk them around the store, point out different products that might be appropriate, and send pictures and all kinds of specifications, etc. So she said it was a really good experience. It's been a good experience for her and clients, and open up new avenues, new opportunities for her going forward. Especially since she was so afraid of technology, and,
Right.
uh, and she's now overcome that, and she sees it's quite easy to accomplish that.
Well, the personal shopper, that's a great idea. With so much of our connection currently online, more people are being forced into caring about it and also into better understanding its impact.
Yes, definitely. Um, And there's so many different strategies and tactics that people are implementing. So, a few of them have to do well. Zoom. Everybody's now familiar with Zoom,
Right.
whereas 2 months ago, not many people even knew what it was. So that kind of online meeting or GoToMeeting, which allows you to have a lot of interaction. And I think it's also changed the fact that everybody's using it. It's taken away some of the pretense, so everybody seems to be a lot more natural. And
Right.
you no longer feel like if your child walks in, you're caught, and you're horrible. It's just kind of part of it. Uh, I think another thing is just getting marketing messages to be more personal and more conversational. So
Hmm.
this is a good time, I think, for a lot of people to go back and look at their marketing messages and see, are they really relatable, or are they just stiff? And so that conversational and making it right within your website, your emails, your social media. It's always a challenge, but it's a good time to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Then another thing that people have learned or are learning to take advantage of is finding out where their clients are. So with everybody being online right now, you can
Right.
do a little bit of research that helps you identify where they are, what they're interested in, other things that they may be interested in that are not necessarily your products or in your industry, but it will help you reach out to them later in different ways. So um, I think it's important to recognize that these habits aren't changing. It's a mass transition, and we know that people have been going online more and more, but I just think the transition is even more significant than we're giving it credit for.
Hmm.
Um, and then another thing that I found really really happening more and more is just using video to um, to communicate with your clients, just like the interior decorators. It's just FaceTime, but it's video, it's movement, it's interaction.
That's right. It's live.
Yeah. And so anything from, marketing has gone from just putting words out there to putting images out there to now video and using it all together. But um, it's just more compelling.
Hmm. It is.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I think people are learning to take better advantage of is competitive research, because learning how your competitors are what they're doing online, or even looking at what people in other cities that are in your industry may be doing, taking the time to evaluate that, are looking at totally different industries. It gives you a new way of approaching your own message and brand and so forth. So WSI has a series of webinars that they've put together for getting ahead in this time, and some of these things are addressed in their webinars.
That's right. We do have that series taking place. And like you said, it's for business owners and marketers to help them kind of think through some of the strategies and tactics, some of the ones that you've talked about, and some others. And these webinars are happening once a week, but they are recorded. So if you have missed the first couple of episodes, you can still catch up.
That's good.
Um, well, thank you, Maryn. I'm sure that our viewers appreciate these additions to their toolboxes for making a fuller transition to remotely communicating. And I appreciate that you taking the time out to explain it to us.
Certainly. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.